So if you're one of them people, you need to just not be ashamed of Christ. You need to just do it. But sometimes it starts by just the organization getting involved in a mission, and the team around them starting to see the change that can have in people's lives, and I guess show them Jesus through them. Show your team Jesus through them things, or through the process of helping others, because that's who Christ really is. And then it opens up questions. It opens up conversations with your team members, and then you can have them deep conversations about Christ.
Yeah. Well, I think so many times people.
I hope that makes sense. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think so many times people think that, you know, when you're in business, like, you know, you want to have this seclusion from what I believe, and whether it's a relationship with Christ and things like that. And the one thing that I can say is, everybody thinks, like, when you're going and sharing Christ, that it's a 5-point message to a person in a conversation. That works sometimes. Let me tell you what works every time: living it. Living a life that shows Christ and shows that Christ has made a difference in your life. That's going to lead more people to Jesus than ever having a conversation of, like, theology, or, you know, all that stuff will come, right? But, like, I've had more conversations with people saying, hey, you're different. Why are you different? And you saying, well, I'm different because Christ made a difference in me. You know, and they may go, I'm good, and back off. Let them back off.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be hit in the head with the Bible, right? Plant the seed in their heart. They'll go away. It'll come back up. I promise you. If you're consistent, you're doing the things that you need to do, you're making the change that the Holy Spirit's revealing to you, it's going to come back up. And once it comes back up, hey, be open, be honest, share your faith. But that's the problem that I see a lot of times in Christians. They feel like, oh, I've got to give this 5-point sermon of, you know, of the, you know, the theology of, you know, the gospel and things like that. And you need to share the gospel when prompted, and when you have opportunities. But the biggest thing that will turn people away from Christ is you give that 5-point sermon and you tell them about the gospel, and then you don't live it.
Yeah.
Because they don't see the change that's actually happened in your heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
You shared something with me, Micah. You may not even remember this, but we were walking on the golf course the last day we were together over there in Africa, and something you shared with me, and it's impacted me today still. And we were talking about sharing Christ with others, and you told me that something that you have done and I have done in my life now, and that is having your testimony is really your best way of sharing Christ, is through your testimony. And you mentioned about preparing yourself to be able to share, I guess, different versions of your testimony, a short, quick version or a more in-depth version. It's because a lot of people, when they ask you about Christ, if you can actually give them an experience that you had, is the biggest impact. And you shared with me to, you know, in a sense, practice your testimony, like prepare it, have it in your mind so well that when that opportunity comes up, if you got 10 minutes, share the little longer version. But if you got 45 seconds to a minute, have a version of your testimony, because that will impact people more than trying to preach a sermon to them.
Yeah.